I love building applications, and then when AI came along, it gave me wings. At any point in time, you could see me developing 4 to 5 things at a time. While I felt like this gave me superpowers, but then under all the bravado, I wanted some kind of an auditable praise. While juggling between different mental contexts, I would lose recall. I would not know what had I done and what decisions I had taken before building something. I'm somebody who, once I start coding, I will want some kind of thoroughness. So I wanted to find that comfort in thoroughness. When I checked around, I found that has been a real issue when people start vibe coding. So it introduces 1.7x the rate of major issues, leaks secrets into logs, leaves behind unmaintainable architectural debt, whack-a-mole trap, leaking secrets, functionality flickering, context bloat. I wanted a better way to be in control, and that's the major part of our talk today. Spec-based development, and particularly we'll pick up Openspec. Through this, we will try to use Openspec and then build something so that we have the whole SDLC with us. Through this experience of building the software, I will also talk about the final verdict of what is right with Openspec, what needs to change, is that the real silver bullet for the faults of vibe coding. So we will discuss that at the end. Now let us jump into Openspec. By late 2025, the vibe coding problem had started to surface a lot. Forgetful, context loss, AI slop code, vague conversational prompts. The way I would prompt and the way my teammate would prompt or you would prompt are completely different. And that's when the whole industry started to move towards spec-based development, and Openspec got created. By early 2026, there was rapid adoption across many companies, 20k plus stars on GitHub, and by mid of 2026, this started to be as the go-to tool for iterative programming, developer-friendly programming. Most importantly, it is tool agnostic. The learning curve for this is very, very small, and as per their philosophy, fluid, not rigid, iterative, not waterfall, hold a thought there, easy, not complex, that I vouch for, built for brownfield, not just greenfield, adapts very well for brownfield applications, scalable from personal projects to enterprises. I agree on all of this, but the tech world is still discussing about iterative and not waterfall aspect of Openspec. Openspec is not the only tool. We have SpecKit from GitHub also. Any of these spec-driven development tools, we propose a change. It's a lightweight proposal. It's also called as a spec delta, and that generates the design and the task document. This helps a lot in audit and thoroughness. And then we say apply. That's when the actual execution phase begins. That creates the code and the output. And once you are comfortable, you archive, and then you do this over and over for each of your requirement. So I have Claude Code. This natively integrates with Claude Code. Beginning to work with Openspec is very easy. We install Openspec and then we start by saying Openspec init, and then it flows from there. Let us jump to my code and then let us start coding for it. This is my terminal. I just create a folder. I'll bring up my code editor from here. Alright, it's a greenfield application, a new application that we are starting. Let me load a better profile, just so that for the demos I want it to be slightly larger. Bring my terminal up. Openspec comes as a node application. To install, we just do an npm install of it. I already have it. It's pulling the latest, no problems. Alright, so now I have Openspec, and then I say Openspec init. This will initialize my current project as an Openspec project. I run this with Claude. I select Claude and then say, now it says restart your IDE for the / commands to take effect. That's pretty much it. We now have Openspec ready to use. I'll start that with Claude, but then because Claude has its habit of going back to doing what it wants, I just want to commit to Claude telling that this is an Openspec project and always follow the Openspec lifecycle. Commit this to memory. Good. Now Claude talks my language. Saved. I will follow Openspec lifecycle. Propose, explore as needed, apply, sync, and archive. We will go through each of these states when we try to build something. Now to test out Openspec, I need a use case. So let us first discuss the use case, come back here and implement. The use case I want to pick is, in the current world of AI, the best place to go to learn something is read AI papers and get the right information from horse's mouth. I love to do this. But then if I have to go read the paper, many different storytelling techniques, many different technical words, and then for me to read through the paper itself is so much of a hassle. So now what I want to do is, I want to build an application wherein the first time I upload the paper, I wanted to send it to LLM, and the LLM, from the LLM, I wanted to generate prerequisites, summary, some intuition, understanding and concepts. I want that to be stored, and once that is done, I should be able to chat with the paper, as in, now I want to see what examples are mentioned, what was the data set that was used for this paper, who is the author of this paper, and all that I want to test. So we'll build an application like this. We'll make this a local running application, but that's okay. The point here is to look at how Openspec deals with it rather than solving the actual problem. That I will do post this video, and I'll build multiple other features that I want to do with it. Okay, now if you see, it's a huge jump where I send the paper to an LLM and then that sends it back, and I want it as a list of paper chats. That is point one. It requires an application to host. I need an LLM, I need to send it to it, get it back from LLM. The second phase is, I want the capability to chat with it and then get some answers back. Let's start building this. So this is exactly the state where Openspec comes very handy. If I were to be wipe coding, I would have just typed this and then hoped for an application to come, or at the best put that in plan mode and then try out something. But I want a more iterative process. That's where the Openspec Explore will help us a lot. So now I say, so I get these commands because we installed and then we did an Openspec init. Now I'll put this in Explore mode. I will explain my problem statement. Yeah, now I say I'm in the Explore mode, and then I say I want to build a system where I can send out a research paper to LLM on Deep Infra. Deep Infra is an inference provider. I can pick and choose any LLM and get back intuition of the paper, prerequisites, easy explanation and technical explanation, and a summary of the paper also. Because we are in Explore mode, now it starts to ask quite a lot of questions. Now you see, instead of jumping to answer it, because we are in the Explore mode, now it says, how does a paper get sent in? A CLI tool, paste raw text or abstract. So it's giving me options. How do I want to send this? One LLM call or 4? So it's telling me, do I have to do this in 1 or 4? So I'll just say I want this. And then another question, which deep infra model does the paper fit its context window? Because it is about intuitions, I don't want to choose a smaller model. I'll say, go pick a frontier model. Maybe a GPT. What happens to the output? So printed on the terminal. This is where I don't want it to print it on the terminal. I want it to actually build a UI wherein the front end is in React, the back end is in Python, maybe a SQLite database if it requires. I'll give those inputs here, and then it's going to ask me more questions. Is this one-off script or a system? You said system. Does it mean you want repeatable, reusable, model choice, working script? Yeah, that's what I want. So I'll start to explain those things to it. Yeah. How does a paper get sent in? Let me not answer this. Let me just give it as one full dump of information. I write a bunch of things. I want a UI like chat window of ChatGPT. Every paper upload should show up on the left. Clicking on the paper on the left should show previous data on the right. In the next phase, we will add a chat interface too. Stick to phase 1 only. Front end in React, back end in Python, SQLite database. Currently, I will only run in local mode. Use a frontier model, say GPT, has enough context window to send the whole paper in. One call is enough to get all the details. Give the ability to configure Deep Infra API key in UI as settings. Let me send this out. Now see, we are still in Explore mode. Look at the thoroughness we can bake into it. Yeah, it's telling me paper insights, upload PDF, attention is all you got, and when I click on this, intuition, prerequisite, easy explanation, technical summary. And then it has a few open questions, all fairly consequential for the backend design. Blocking or an async upload. I want it as an async upload. Async plus, I did lean towards async plus Perl version. I'm good with it. streaming or one-shot render? I'll say one-shot render is good enough for our current iteration. What names the sidebar entry? I will say take the name of the paper, the paper's actual title, anyways we are reading it. Settings or API key storage, since it's local only. A row in SQLite, that should be good. Any paper management beyond upload and view. Delete a paper, rerun the analysis. Yes, I would need those things. Now let me start answering these questions. Now let me see what it does. So now it says title while processing. If the title comes from model's own response, what does the sidebar show before the response lands? The raw file name. Yeah, that is good. Now the rerun semantics. Does rerun overwrite existing 4 sections? Yeah, I'll say overwrite. I think mostly there. So now from Claude's perspective, all of its questions are all done, and so it is happy with it. Now from the Openspec lifecycle, now I say I need to propose. So now I am saying whatever we discussed so far, I want to propose this. Propose also takes a parameter. I can name the propose. It can be a bug fix or a feature or anything. So it just said add new paper explainer. That's good enough for me. Perfect. Now you see it created a proposal.md, design.md, and then tasks.md, the most important files when we are using Openspec out of the box. Let us see what it did. It bunches everything under changes. So the change we are trying to do is add paper explainer. I can add more than one change to this because you might want to put everything in and then ask Claude to go and build all of it at once, right? So within this we have this design.md. Now if you look at this, but then before coming to design, let's first open up proposal.md. So proposal says, why are we doing it? What are the changes? New local web, upload a PDF, capabilities, what capabilities the system is getting, modified capabilities because this is greenfield, what is the impact, new code base, external dependency like deep infra API, no existing systems affected is the impact that it has figured. We can read through it, but then for this video it's good enough. So now the design, open preview. So now greenfield local app, correct, and all of this, what are the goals? Upload returns immediately, extraction plus LLM happens in the background, one LLM call per paper, front end can always determine the paper state, non-goals, chat, right now I am not doing it, chunking, RAG, not needed because these papers are all small and it can fit in the context window, maybe further phases, model selection and switching, decisions, what are the decisions that we took during this this whole discovery of this feature, how should the database model look, how should the API look, the risks and trade-off, backend restart, mid analysis, paper too large, LLM returns malfunctioned, and then some open questions, exact deep infra model identifier to hard code. This actually Claude can figure out because I told it is GPT, but then let us help it also. So now if I go to deep infra models, GPT, I'll pick a 120B. So I'll say use this model from deep infra. Claude could have actually figured this out, but then that's okay. Now you see it automatically changed the design, and then so nothing for us now. Okay, now for the tasks. Now you see it starts with backend setup, settings API, paper upload and extraction, deep infra analysis, paper library API, front end setup, front end paper library, front end settings, end to end verification. So the whole building, it has now split that into neat tasks that we can monitor. So once we are comfortable doing the proposal building of what we want to do, now we say go and apply it. So OPSX is the command, apply is what I say. Now Claude gets in and it starts to build the whole system. We can go have coffee and come back while it does. All right, exciting. So now it says it has built everything. That's good. Let's check the tasks. So all the tasks are complete. That is good. And then it says that it has brought it up on localhost 5183 and I can take it for a spin. Let me do. It needs me to set API key. That's okay. I'll delete this key after. Now is the time to test a paper upload. So I have a paper here. Let me upload this. Okay, now it says analyzing the paper and this can take a minute. Awesome. The core idea is something like this. Prerequisites, an easy explanation, normal prompting, technical summary, then the findings and the impact. Is this not great? So now instead of just giving a high level prompt, we used Openspec to firm up our requirements a lot better, firm up and take some design decisions, and then we have built a whole application from scratch. Now for the verdict of it, I have already noticed ton of mistakes. This is one of the things for Openspec. It works very well on a brownfield application. That means the application is already there. Some amount of coding standards, some amount of architectural grounding has already happened. If I were to do it, the reason why I need to use Openspec is it brings in the discipline. Because it's a greenfield project, now I had to first create my architectural grounding documents and then start building it, and then it would have kind of avoided a few errors. But then that's okay. We just wanted to very quickly start off on Openspec. So now what happens? All your requirements, you'll keep getting added as changes, and then you follow the same iteration over and over. You explore something, propose a change, verify everything, do an apply, and then you test. And after your test is successfully complete, you close this iteration by calling archive. So when you say archive, it does two things. One is it takes it and puts it in a different folder, so now it won't look at it the next time it starts an iteration. And then point two, whenever you are working on similar things, it has a way to sync them up together, and that's a very big advantage for us. Over the days of you building, you always have a set of archive when you're using Openspec. The second problem that I find with Openspec is many a times your proposal document and your design document are not too very different. So sync now, I'm saying sync them together. So the sync is a feature where it brings multiple things together. The second problem with Openspec is it creates too much of documentation, the design, the proposal and tasks. And then the third problem I have with Openspec is the creators of Openspec, or whoever coined the term spec driven development, they did a very big disservice to this whole field by calling it spec. So it gives the connotation of you building a waterfall model, but that's not really the case. And a very big going point for Openspec is it is extremely easy to configure your own workflow. So if you don't like the explore, propose, apply, archive, you can bring in your own steps for this, and it works beautifully. I think anybody who picks Openspec, any enterprise which picks Openspec, will bring in their own workflow, define their own workflow, and then go with it. Maybe that's a topic for our next discussion. Having Openspec, which is iterative in nature, putting them in an agent coding loop, and then putting it all together in harness engineering. So now you get yourself a very good enterprise level coding stack. Product owners, project managers, SQA, they all would really love looking at specs, because now you get a sense of control on all the changes that you are doing to your software. And especially if you are like me, if you are jumping between 5 different applications at a time, it's very easy to forget what you did and what decisions you took in one of your applications. And that's where Openspec will help you a lot. Openspec, GitHub Spec Kit, it doesn't matter. Spec driven development gives you a lot more control. By this, the archive is complete, and now you're ready to start your new iteration. Hope you enjoyed this video. Drop in the comments the questions you have or apprehensions you have about Openspec. I would love to interact with you all. So this brings us to the end of our discussion on spec based development, and we used Openspec.